What's happening, Wargamers? Welcome to another episode of the Dossier. I am joined once again by my partner in crime, Troop.
Hello.
Hey. And today we are going to talk about MODOK Scientist Supreme. Can you do your best MODOK voice?
Not now.
Not now. He's MODOK Scientist Supreme. So yeah, we're gonna quickly talk about. Now, remember, these are just opinion pieces. Neither of us are terribly competitive.
No.
So take whatever potatoes we give you with that grain of salt.
But this is a very strong potato take.
This is a very strong potato take, yeah. So as usual, we're just gonna quickly talk about the model itself, and I'm gonna start off. I love this model. I did not at first, but after I started painting it, and as goofy as it is, I love this model. I do. It's not my favorite, but I love it.
I felt like the first model had a lot of blank space that kind of like you needed to fill it with perfect kind of look, and now he's got a little bit more going on.
Yeah, I think his face feels a little bit more emotive. Now, I might just become a better painter in the meantime, but his face feels a little bit more emotive. I think the extra guns gives him a little bit more dynamism.
Yep.
His hand point. I think he had his hand pointed on the last one as well.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I like the flame effect, like where he's kind of jetting out a little bit off to the side. Like he's not just like weirdly static. I would actually say of all of AMG's sculpts, the two MODOKs actually really best encapsulate how they've grown as designers.
I agree. I really feel like you got to really notice how people were sort of in their most boring poses. Like literally, as you were talking about the jets, it's kind of like a jet of air. There's a little bit of smoke underneath him, and it's like, what are you doing, MODOK? I could be doing anything.
His chair's struggling to keep him aloft.
I'm probably using this as my recliner time and just hanging out.
So no, and I agree, and I think we've really seen them grow. Is my imagination? Does he seem a little bit smaller?
He does. He definitely seems smaller.
He hit up Jenny Craig, and he's gotten a little bit more svelte.
Or maybe we saw too many Quantum Mania commercials, and he doesn't have enough. Wait, never mind.
Man, I'm just glad we didn't get that terrifying Darren Cross. That's nightmare fuel, man. And like that's coming from like once you see this guy's card, like the fact that I call the Darren Cross one nightmare fuel is just. So speaking of, let's take a look at this card. So yeah, we got MODOK Scientist Supreme here. And so do you want to take us through his stat line there?
Yeah, so he's got 3 physical defense, 3 energy defense, and 5 mystic defense. He's got 7 stamina. He's 4 threat. He's size 3, and he's got a short move.
Yeah, so not a whole lot of differences between that and his original one. I think as other MODOK, he's 2 physical defense.
I think so, yeah.
And I think he's 4 mystic. I think is what it boils down to.
Maybe, yeah. But he also has
that really annoying defensive tech where he shuts off wilds.
Well, I think he has 10 health on the front.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
he's 10-4, whereas in this one he's going to be 7-5.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a decent stat line for a 4 threat. I mean, I'm not unhappy with that stat line.
It's one less threat than the other guy, right? So.
Yeah. So for his first attack, he's got a physical Doomsday Chair Arsenal, which is a range 4, 5 dice. For no power, he does get to choose if it's an energy or physical, which I'm liking more and more these days when you have that option.
Absolutely.
Having that sort of flexibility is really nice. It is a typical gainer, so he's going to gain power equal to the damage dealt, and he has a Wild Incinerate, which in all the times I've used them, I have yet to hit that Wild Incinerate. It's frustrating. So yeah, just a standard Doomsday Chair Arsenal. It's not crazy 7 dice with a free follow-up like his other one.
It is a nice thing that it's a range 4 attack that gives out an Incinerator on a wild. Like I really feel like that's a great spot because you can kind of be at the back but still blasting away at the front lines.
Right. It allows him to be a little bit more support,
yeah,
which I dig. Then if you want to take Psionic Assault.
Yeah, Psionic Assault. It's a mystic attack. It's range 3. 7 dice, and it costs 4 power to use. Before damage is dealt, you may advance the target character S.
I really dig that.
And then it's got a wild disorient. Before damage is dealt, the character gains the stun special condition.
I think this is the 3rd character we've seen where the stun is put on before damage is dealt.
Yes.
The other ones I can think of, Psylocke has one.
Is it Emma?
I think Mystique has one.
Mystique, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Maybe Emma.
No, that was Psylocke in that game.
Okay.
So.
Okay. which again I really like. Like stun before damage is dealt is just kind of rude,
Yes.
especially
yes.
on a 7 dice attack.
Yeah, so even though they take like 5 or 6 damage, they're gaining 1 power.
Yeah,
It's a good feel.
and it's going to feel bad, especially if you happen to hit a big chunky boy who's not immune to stun.
Oh,
So
yeah.
sadly, I don't think you're getting your Hulks with this one because I think they're immune to
I think
stun.
so, yeah.
And Juggernaut's immune to stun, but like your Rhinos or your Malekiths,
Yeah,
stuff like that,
yeah,
which is
solid.
really nice. So the next thing up is he has a leadership, Advanced Idea Mechanics, which is a criminal syndicate affiliation. I know a lot of people were expecting to see AIM as its own affiliation, but I think kind of where we're at with the design space, I don't think we need to really include more affiliations, and I think they can really do a lot with sort of like these sub-affiliations.
Yeah.
So once per turn, when an allied character is attacking or defending, if it's holding or contesting an objective token and has one or more wild results in its roll, it may change one of its dice to a hit or a shield. I really like this. It's not as good as a lot of other leaderships out there.
Yep.
But the fact that the wild basically results in another success for you, I really dig it. And I just realized I need to splash Steve Rogers, Captain America Steve Rogers, into this list and get his flurries off.
Yes.
If I roll any wild, his flurry goes off.
That's awesome, actually.
Oh, wait. Yeah, because I can turn it into a shield.
Yeah. This is excellent.
Oh, I've unlocked Steve Rogers.
Combo.
Yeah.
No, I also really, so going a little bit further on your whole idea that AIM is not its own faction. I love the fact that, like, for me, what is it, a bunch of scientists? Well, they also hire people. So criminal
They outsource.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
They outsource. Eventually, Baron Mordo will make his way into this force, and Baron Zeman.
It'll be a Baron Club before long.
Exactly.
Anyways, the next ability we have here is by my calculations, you'll be dead in seconds. Costs 3 power. Choose an interactive size terrain feature of size 4 or less within 3, and throw it short. The superpower can only be used once per turn.
So I don't think it's quite as good as MODOK's other throw.
No.
On his other card, because I think that's like a medium or a long throw.
I think so.
It's
a lot longer than you think it is.
Yeah. I don't know if it's size 4. No, it's size 4, I think.
I think so too,
I
actually.
think you threw a construction building at me before.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. I always like size 4 throws. The short is unfortunate, but I mean, let's be honest, a size 4 throw, getting 5 damage in on something.
I feel like it's one of those, someone decided to get up close and personal, and you decided to make it extra personal.
It's low-key defensive tech.
Yeah.
It's like pocket sand, but with a construction building. So next up, we have a reactive tech. All in this world are beneath me. It is an X cost. While this character is attacking during the modified dice step of the attack, if there's another allied character within 3 of this character, it may use the superpower. The allied character may spend up to 3 for each power spent this way. This character may reroll 1 attack die. I love that MODOK basically says, you there, pay for this, and get some rerolls. I have yet to make really good use of this. I keep forgetting that it's just attacks. I keep wanting to use it on defense, and that's not how it works at all.
Yeah.
I like it, though. Maybe it helps you get that incinerate off. Maybe it helps you get that wild to modify into an additional hit or something like that,
or change something into a disorient, right? So
yeah, fine.
It's fine. It just it's very specific in what it does. The reason that it doesn't do defense is because of its next reactive power.
Yeah,
Genius requires sacrifice. Your sacrifice, to be precise.
Your sacrifice. Yeah.
Costs 2 power to use. When this character is targeted by an enemy attack, it may use the superpower. Choose another allied character within 2. Chosen character becomes the target of the attack regardless of range and line of sight. So this is like a reverse bodyguard.
I love this.
Yeah.
I think Red Skull, Cabal Red Skull, is the only other character that has this.
Yep.
And I didn't care for it on Red Skull. I love it on MODOK.
Yeah.
There's just something about it.
Well, and I like the fact that MODOK has 7 health, but sometimes you're just going to be like, no, somebody else is going to take this.
Well,
and
we played a game, and how many times did I shift it over to Sabretooth?
Why? And Sabretooth's like, perfect. The one thing that I hate in the world is no one pays attention to me, and now everyone pays attention to me. It's great.
Every game I've run with so far with this MODOK, I've run with Sabretooth, and I've loved it. I've loved every moment of it. It's just been great. And I really like this particular ability. So, yeah, it's cool. Last up, we have an innate ability. I am MODOK, Master of the Mental Arts. I'm starting to sound a little bit more like, what's his name from He-Man?
Yeah, Skeletor. Yeah.
Yes! While this character is defending against a mystic attack, it adds blanks in its roll to its successes. Additionally, this character cannot be pushed or advanced by effects of enemy mystic attacks or enemy superpowers. Just a nice little bit of tech there,
Yeah.
defensive tech.
I don't think a lot of people are going to throw Mystic attacks against MODOK, but this kind of seals the deal on that's a mistake. So.
Yep. 5 dice, adding blanks to it. That is, that's what, 5 out of, no, that's 6 out of 8 results.
Yeah,
right there.
You feel on skulls and hits, so.
Skull is, no, sorry, it's 5.
Yeah, it's only 5, yeah.
Because there's only one shield, yeah. So I dig it. His other side, I mean, I think all that changes is his stamina goes down.
Yep.
Everything. Oh, and Genius Requires Sacrifice becomes free.
Oh, excellent.
Which is kind of cool. Yeah.
Yes.
So that one's kind of cool. But yeah, I dig the card. And there's the Nightmare Fuel that is MODOK's art. Like just, it looks like a California raisin. And I just dated myself there. So many of you players out there are probably, born at the Eternal Millennium and whatnot, and don't even know what a California raisin is.
Yeah, they're delicious.
So we have 2 cards here. We have Simpleton. I'll do it myself, which is unaffiliated active. If you have fewer VPs than your opponent, George Tarleton may spend 2 power to play this card. Choose an allied character within 3 of George Tarleton that is holding or contesting an objective token. If the chosen character was holding an objective token, George Tarleton is now holding that token. If the chosen character was contesting an objective token, place George Tarleton within range 1 of the objective token, then the chosen character is KO'd. You immediately score 1 VP. This card does not allow you to hold more tokens than the crisis specifies. That is a big long wall of text. First big thing to point out is it calls out George Tarleton, not MODOK. So either MODOK can use this one.
Which is kind of nice.
Yep. Yeah. It is an easy free victory point.
Yep.
Right? At the cost of KOing someone.
Well, and it also sometimes teleports your guy a little bit of a distance. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, I think it has some interesting utility.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good card, but I like it.
I definitely don't think it's a take always, but I definitely think it's of note.
It's of note. I think the interesting thing about this is it can get you some interesting plays. If you know one of your characters is going to go down like a chump in the game, you can use this to get rid of them and put MODOK into a better position, maybe.
Yeah, and it might be a great Hail Mary to finish off a game, right?
Yeah. It's never going to finish a game because you have to be behind in VP for it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But maybe it's enough you get that point, and maybe that's the point you need to tie the game.
Yes.
At the end of the round, right?
Yep.
So I like it. There's some interesting play to it. Take all the time? Nah. Sometimes, maybe. I don't know how much competitive we'll see it, but I do like it. We have Mind Games. And this card is going to frustrate competitive players when they see it. And I think there's going to be a lot of casual players who love it. It's going to be very awkward to see it in play. It is unaffiliated active. If George Tarleton is within 2 of an enemy character, he may spend 3 to play this card. Choose an enemy character within 2 of George Tarleton. Divide the experiment tokens into 2 piles. There are 5 of those. Each pile must contain at least 1 experiment token. Flip all experiment tokens to their MODOK side and present both piles to the opposing player. The opposing player must choose one of the 2 piles and reveal all tokens within it. For each zap, which is a damage icon revealed, the chosen enemy suffers 1 damage. For each sap revealed, the chosen enemy character loses 1 power and George Tarleton gains 1. And if the reward, which is a flag, is revealed, the opposing player gains 1 VP. If the reward is not revealed, you gain 2 VP. Now, if anyone watches the game that just came out before this Dossier video, that is exactly how the game ended. Yeah. I lived the MODOK dream and pulled that off, and it was shenanigans all the way. I think I was in a winning position one way or the other.
Yep.
But what's your take on the card?
I think you're right. I think a lot of competitive players will find the randomness or the feeling of randomness very frustrating. I do think that I feel like Sap and Zap are low-key effective tools to actually make this reasonable, and they could trip up someone who's like, I know what pile this will be. Oh, perfect. Do I think it's going to be game defining? No. Most of the time, I think it's going to be very either win more or doesn't matter, but you can do it out of, like, unlike something like, I'm going to call it Hail to the King.
Usurp the Throne?
That's it. Where you kind of like, oh, this is the usurp the throne turn, so you kind of see it coming. This is MODOK moves up, he's within 2 of someone, let's play a game.
Well, what I want to do is I want to build a list between Mind Games, Usurp the Throne, and Blood Red and Personal,
Oh, nice.
and just try and score as many VP out of sequence as I can.
No intention of doing anything right now. We're going to do this all later.
Exactly. Now, the interesting thing about Mind Games, I've been going back and forth on this one quite a bit. I don't think you play it for the VP. The
No.
VP is nice, but I don't think you play for the VP. I love it as a way of, hey, that character that you just failed to KO or daze only has 1 health left. Mind Games. You put 1 damage in each token, you guarantee that daze or KO.
Yep.
Or hey, you're missing 1 power that you need to throw with MODOK. Mind Games. Although in that case you're spending 3 power to gain 1. No, maybe that's not as good. But either way, like maybe you sap some power that you need or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you get rid of some valuable power.
Yep.
You're going up against Steve Rogers, who has 2 power, and you don't want him to bodyguard.
As it turns out, he's not bodyguarding today.
As it turns out, he's not bodyguarding today. So yeah, I think there's definitely some play to it, but its random factor makes it hard to really read in a real competitive sense. But yeah, so that is MODOK Scientist Supreme. Overall, I mean, he's a fine character.
Yeah.
He's not meta-defining. I enjoyed him. I've been having some good fun with him so far.
I think he might have some cooler play. There might be some little combos that we're not seeing right now, especially we were just talking about Steve there, but like I think there might be a little bit more to him.
Yeah, I look forward to see what the more big brain members of the community are able to come up with. So anyway, yeah, that is MODOK Scientist Supreme. So yeah, leave your comments below. Get involved in the conversation. If you're looking for ways to support the channel, hit up patreon.com/AegisBrandStudios, and we will see you next time. Happy wargaming.